Let's go ahead and jump in. Welcome to tonight's class, Hypnosis for Lasting Weight Loss. Now, if you've struggled with weight loss for any window of time, you might recognize that it can be an ongoing process. And there's actually, if that's your experience, if you've been challenged with weight loss or losing weight and then gaining all the weight back plus more, recognize you're not alone. And hypnosis for weight loss is a very different approach. Well, hypnosis has actually been around for 100 years or more, goes back to the 1700s. But with hypnosis for weight loss, what we're actually looking for is a different approach rather than dieting, depriving, and starving ourselves. And so we're going to look at some of the key things in your mindset that you can change and shift, that you can get over that hump of dieting or that revolving door of diet programs. And what we're really looking for is a better balance with mind and body. So hypnosis weight loss, I share this photo because this was me 15 years ago. I had gained 40 pounds. I'll share a little bit about my story. And I have kept it off easily without dieting, calories, or starving myself. And I want to give you some insights into how you can start yourself. I know that there's some hypnotherapists on the line tonight, so hopefully I'll be giving you some information too about how to work with your clients or address these issues with your clients as well. So hypnosis for weight loss, how do we get the mind on board and what can we do to start taking those steps that help us move to where we want to go? Because ultimately we want to create a balance with mind and body internally so that it becomes more intuitive. So let's start with some of the mental blocks around weight loss. Now, here's a common approach to dieting and weight loss is that people often start a diet. They might pick this diet or that diet, and then they'll start focusing on that. They'll start restricting food. I can't have this. I can't have that. And what that does, it kind of sets up this willpower. These are bad foods. These are good foods. I have to avoid the bad foods and eat the good foods. But then we kind of start having a conflict within ourselves because part of us wants to eat the bad food, or we start seeing foods as bad. And this also sets up more of that inner conflict. So diets set us up to fail for a few different reasons. And this is why so many people find difficulty with then it's a revolving door. In fact, most people gain all the weight back plus more. And one research study, and this is in an article that you can also is referenced here, NBC News article, when you lose weight and gain it back more. Researchers of University of California at Los Angeles analyzed 31 different diet studies and found 2/3 of dieters regained more weight within 4 or 5 years than they had initially lost. So it's not just that we are releasing weight with diets, people are gaining back more than before they had started the dieting. And I blame that dieting and deprivation piece. We'll talk about that a little bit. So one UCLA researcher actually concluded that diets leave you worse off than before because most people are gaining back more weight than they had previously to lose. So there's some research out there is coming around and really recognizing that this dieting approach, I'll just, follow this diet until I lose 20 pounds or 30 pounds, falling off the wagon or going back to old habits. If you haven't changed the old habits in what you do, but also habits in what you think and how you feel, then those old habits are going to return. And so we really need a different approach. Diets don't work because they are a short-term focus. Usually people are focused on a certain window of time. Okay, I'm going to do this diet for 30 days. I'm going to do this diet for 6 months. So it's a short-term focus, but people aren't recognizing that we really need to be changing a lot of the brain habits that are running the reasons that we gain weight. There's also, along with dieting, there's a cycle of failure and shame. Oh, I know I'm supposed to eat these foods, but I don't. And it's even like, oh, I watch myself eating this food and here I go again. And then we fall off the wagon and then we shame and blame ourselves. So that cycle of failure can really trip us up or even keep us from trying to take those healthy steps, those healthy lifestyle steps. Also, diets are really restrictive. They tend to focus on these are the foods to avoid, these are foods to include. But what we really want to recognize is that foods are good. We don't want to be at war with our food. We want to find a better balance. So pay more attention to how foods make us feel and start to get more to an intuitive place of eating rather than following these rules and guidelines, which can be okay for a window of time. But again, if you have only a short-term focus, it is likely that you will be gaining that weight back. For many people that have worked with diet programs, there's also a past history. And I call these, sometimes from our experiences, we get these mental blocks because I with this diet or this exercise program, now my mind might be thinking weight loss is hard, or I have to really struggle to lose weight, or I really have to exhaust myself at the gym to lose weight. And so this also keeps us in that cycle of struggle. Another reason is that willpower doesn't last. And you might have tried this before. I'm not going to eat sugar anymore. But then what does the mind focus on? The mind focuses on, oh, sugar. And you start noticing things that you haven't noticing before. Oh, I can just go grab the ice cream in the freezer, or, you pass up the donuts at you pass up the donuts at the office, but then, by the afternoon, the fridge is calling you, or especially it kind of wears off by the end of the day, because there's only so much mental energy that we have to say no and keep those defenses up. So willpower doesn't last. And diets aren't addressing the real reasons that we gain weight. The real reasons that we gain weight are actually in our brain. Now, this is where hypnosis can shine because it's brain friendly. We want to help the unconscious automatic mind get on board with healthy lifestyle, intuitive eating, and recognizing what foods help you feel better in your body. So it's not that you failed the diet, it's that diets have failed you. This is a quote from one of the people that I'll be sharing, another quote of hers as well, Dr. Sherry Lieberman, is to recognize that it's our approaches to weight loss that have been causing us to go into those cycles of shame and blame and, that lacking willpower and not being able to follow through. So what we really need is a different approach. We need a better system. Now, first off, I like to help address this idea about failure, because so many people have come to, by the time especially that they're looked to hypnosis for weight loss, they might have had lots of other diet programs. They may have had some success, but then fallen off the wagon. Well, we have a key principle in NLP, Neuro Linguistic Programming. So neuro-linguistic programming says the neurons in our brain, that's the neuro, linguistic is our language patterns, how we talk about things, how we represent the world around us, language, and how that influences our brain. And also programming, that word programming refers to how our brains have been wired over time. It's kind of like the software that you run on a computer. So we recognize, I like to call NLP the coding system of the brain, and how we can tap into that code, make updates and changes so that we can come out with a different habit, a better result, so we can short circuit those cravings. So there is no failure. There is only feedback. This is a quote from NLP, one of the key guiding principles. We want to recognize that everything in life is a process, kind of like a kid learning to ride a bicycle. So even though you may have gone through multiple diet programs, had some success, or felt like you have failed in the past, recognize that it's actually a process, and you likely didn't have all the pieces of the puzzle that you needed in order to actually make the difference for healthy life, healthy habits, and to follow through. So when we say there's no failure, only feedback, I like to talk about this image of a bicycle. If you gave a child, a 6-year-old, a bicycle, how many chances would he get to learn to ride the bicycle? Well, he would get as many as it takes, wouldn't he? And if he fell off the bicycle, would you say that he had failed? No, because he's still in the mode of learning and growing and figuring it out. And even when he falls off the bicycle, his brain is making calculations and adjustments about motor movement, muscle control, and balance. And so the next time he gets on the bicycle, he's even more prepared to be more successful. In fact, he becomes more and more capable with every try. So even if you've gone through other dieting programs in the past, you may have been learning, much like riding the bicycle, you may have been learning about what doesn't work for you. You may have been learning about what does work for you as well. The more that we focus on what works, the more that we can do more of what works. When we do more of what works, we can move forward more quickly. So I encourage you to look at, even though you may have been challenged in the past with diet or weight loss programs, to think of it in terms of learning. There is a lot of understanding about foods and weight and how our body works. And sometimes we don't have all those pieces of the puzzle. Also, when we add in the brain piece, this really makes a huge difference for people because a lot of our habits and patterns are running automatically. And so hypnosis especially can give you some keys to unlock what the brain is holding on to, that you can make some better adjustments at the unconscious level, which then free up your energy to be more on track and more in a way that's balanced rather than direction. So the real reasons we actually gain weight are in the brain: old habits, stress, cravings, mental blocks, self-sabotage, and the unconscious mind. And there's some myths about hypnosis and the unconscious mind, so we're going to just touch on that a little bit to understanding at a deeper level. So a good way of thinking of how the mind works is like the image of an iceberg. You can see the top part above the water. That top part above the water is what we're aware of. That's kind of like our conscious awareness. It's a much smaller portion. It's only about 10%, but our conscious mind, that's where we're often setting our goals. I am going to eat healthy. I am going to get to the gym. I'm not going to eat sugar anymore. Whatever those things are that we're saying to ourselves. Now, the subconscious part of the mind is all of the stuff just below the surface. It's information that's easy to retrieve. We might use it often or recently. And then there's a deeper part of the mind where our past history is stored, our unconscious mind. Now, with the unconscious mind, we call this, I like to call it the automatic mind. It's in charge of whatever is running automatically, automatic habits, patterns, cravings, programs. The automatic mind, it's trying to help us. You might think of some of the habits that you have. Often we think of the bad habits we have, like eating candy at night or cookies in bed or whatever those negative habits are. But our mind kind of picked up that pattern and learned it from somewhere. Anything that we repeat, the mind or brain will turn it into a habit. So you might even think like at one time took a lot of energy or effort to learn to tie your shoes. You had to really think about it. But the more you did it over and over, that repetition turned it into automatic. Now you don't even have to think about it. You have more mental energy for other things. Same with driving a car. So our mind is trying to help us create efficiency. And so it puts onto repeat a lot of those habits and patterns that we have done through repetition. So one way to update the unconscious mind is through repetition. But there's also that the unconscious mind has a little different way in that how it processes language. So we might be saying to ourselves, I'm not going to eat sugar anymore. But then noticing like what we focus on is sugar. As soon as we say we can't have something, we notice it, we focus on it. We're almost even obsessive about it. So we can circumvent this through utilizing the language of the unconscious mind. So think about what your brain does when you sleep at night, what we're aware of. During the day, our mind is doing kind of that busy chatter, that monkey mind. And so when we go into dream state at night, that's when our monkey mind starts to calm down. Our busy chatter calms down, and then we start to notice a lot of the patterns that are under the surface. So the unconscious mind is language is similar to what our mind is doing when we are in dream state. The unconscious mind uses story, imagery, metaphor, and symbolism to communicate. So mental pictures, stories, kind of like as I just illustrated the story of a kid riding a bicycle, that story, that imagery, that metaphor is speaking more directly to your unconscious mind. So rather than telling the mind what to do, I'm not going to eat sugar anymore. And there's also a way that this works against your unconscious mind. We'll talk about this in a minute. But we want to make sure that we're giving our unconscious mind clear directions. And this is one of the avenues where hypnosis can help update what your automatic habits and patterns are. Okay, so here we go. Here's that phrase, I'm not going to eat sugar anymore. So this is often how we attack or start with something that we want to do, we want to follow through on. So the interesting thing about how the unconscious mind works is it doesn't really don't, because it speaks in mental pictures. So go ahead and close your eyes for a moment. You might even kind of move them back and forth just to kind of clear your mind. And I want you to hear that phrase. I'll say it. I'm not going to eat sugar anymore. Notice, what does your mind picture? What do you think of? Your mind is likely picturing sugar. Some form of sugar. Oh, I have chocolate in my desk, ice cream in the freezer. Actually, this phrase is tuning your unconscious mind to notice sugar more. That's right, noticing sugar more. And this is because your unconscious mind doesn't really hear the don't. So, because the don't doesn't translate. So, for example, I'm going to ask you not to think of something. Don't think about a yellow butterfly, because as you do, it's going to turn blue and fly right out the door. And what did your mind do? Your mind has to create mental pictures out of your language in order to understand it. And so your unconscious mind, especially those mental pictures, are speaking directly to your unconscious mind. So when we say, I'm not going to eat sugar anymore, what the unconscious mind is hearing is sugar, sugar. Tune your mind to sugar, 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 right? It has to picture it to understand the don't of it. So it's even more useful to give your mind clear directions about what you want it to do. If I'm not going to eat sugar, if I'm not going to focus on sugar, what do I want my mind to do instead? I want my mind to focus on eating fresh fruits and vegetables. You might even close your eyes for a moment and thinking of that phrase. I'm going to eat fresh fruits and vegetables. And what does your mind picture? So it gives you those images, those pictures of fresh fruits and vegetables. One way to start tuning your unconscious mind to pay attention to what you want it to do rather than the don't wants, right? Okay, so here we go into how will hypnosis work for you? So hypnosis is actually a natural state of mind. We move in and out of states of hypnosis through different activities. In fact, if you've ever been wrapped up in a really good book and you could even see that story play out in your head, it's as if you can even see the characters, or even it can become like a movie that you see it in your mind. Well, that's a form of hypnosis. If you have ever been driving down the street and missed a freeway exit, that's highway hypnosis. That you were on autopilot, but your mind was just kind of wandering off somewhere else. So a lot of people, when they think of hypnosis, they think of the stage show, someone eating an onion thinking it's an apple, blinking out, or not remembering. Therapeutic hypnosis, or the relaxation hypnosis that we do, you'll be aware and awake the whole time. It can feel like your mind wanders off and comes back, which is really normal. If you find it wandering off, just bring it back to the sound of my voice and I'll just be guiding you throughout the process. So will hypnosis work for you? We say all hypnosis is self-hypnosis, because what we are doing is just giving the mind new things to focus on that then help it switch its focus at this automatic level. So as long as you can pay attention and follow directions, you'll be fine and have a great experience. So here's another quick example of how hypnosis works is imagine a lemon. And you can do this with your eyes closed for a moment. I'll take you through this process. So as you think about that lemon, I want you to imagine in your mind to see like the yellow surface of it, even the light glinting off its surface. And now in your mind's eye, imagine taking a knife and cutting the lemon in half. As you hold that lemon in half, you can even smell that fresh lemon scent. You can smell it, bring it up to your nose, inhale that fresh lemon scent, and now just biting into the lemon. Feel those sour juices flow across your tongue. You can even feel it pucker, the glands going. So notice in that experience, how did your body respond? As you imagine thinking of the lemon, smelling the lemon, and then biting the lemon. Did you notice your body respond? If you did notice your body respond, then you are a good candidate for hypnosis. And it shows a direct link between what we think about and how our body responds. Now, this happens in more situations, not just around lemons, with stress response and a lot of other things that we think about, then the body, the mind and body is responding to. So hypnosis is one way to tap into that mind-body system, help the unconscious or automatic mind make updates and changes so you can come out with a different result, a better result. Oh, so I love this slide. This is your brain hypnosis. So this is really fun to look at. These are the EEG patterns, electroencephalograph, where they hook somebody up to this graph, this machine that will measure the graph of the electrical activity in your brain. And so for most of us, well, for all of us really, in day-to-day Western life, we are living in a beta brainwave. Beta brainwave is characterized by scattered thinking. You can see it's the top one here. That has kind of really a lot of activity. The beta brainwave is characterized by scattered thinking. It has a lot of activity going on. So many electrical firings per second, and that's what you're seeing is the graph of the beta brainwaves. So that's our busy mind. That's where we're doing our to-do lists or kind of going through our day. That's that monkey chatter that we hear. Now, when we start going into meditation state, and meditation and hypnosis are very closely related. In fact, there's even between the two. So when we start going into a meditative state or into a hypnosis state, our brain starts to synchronize those electrical patterns. Not only does it synchronize, but it starts slowing down the electrical firing of your brain. So you can see how it's going to less erratic activity. And in the alpha wave, it starts getting more of the easier wave. Now, if we keep going into that hypnosis meditative state, as we go even further, it continues to synchronize activity throughout your brain and continues to slow that EEG pattern. So you'll see that picture of the theta brainwave right there. And now there is an even deeper state that we go into. This is more characterized by sleep. It's the delta wave. The delta wave is very little brain activity. And you'll see that EEG pattern is much, much slower there. So this gives you a reference point to recognize that when you start to meditate or especially go into hypnosis, that your brain is actually changing its electrical activity. And what we're really looking for in that hypnosis state is kind of that quiet of the mind, kind of that space between our conscious awareness and our unconscious awareness right before you drift off to sleep. That you're still aware and able to think and reason, but it's just that really soft, quiet place of the mind. And it's characterized by that slower alpha waves and then theta waves. So this is just a good reference for understanding your brain on hypnosis, that hypnosis is actually keeping your mind and body for the changes that you want to make. So here's some keys. Here's some simple things that you can think about and start approaching right away. In lasting weight loss success, We want to create a long-term focus. So instead of dieting, losing X number of pounds, we want to think of it more as creating a healthy lifestyle. When you have a healthy lifestyle, then your body responds to that healthy lifestyle. And this will get you away from the dieting, weight loss, and then the gaining the weight back. The second one, we really need to change the brain habits. And I think this is one of the big reasons that so many weight loss programs are revolving doors, because you can change your eating, but if you haven't updated your unconscious mind, your automatic mind, then you'll still find yourself falling back into those old habits. But we can change brain habits. We can change food habits. We can change stress habits. We can change cravings. The foods that you crave or even feel a compulsion for, it's all wired into your brain, and especially into your unconscious automatic mind. And the third, we can update your unconscious mind and even resolve sabotage. Sabotage, I call it when a part of me wants to and a part of me doesn't. And then I kind of feel this inner battle or war between the two. Or we know what to do, we're not following through. Maybe it's procrastination, and we're putting things off. Or it can even have underlying reasons that our mind wants to hold on to the extra weight. And this at the conscious level doesn't make sense, but the unconscious mind is running it often from old programs, outdated ideas, or even like holding us back from what we want for ourselves in life. There's deeper mental blocks that go along with those though. So we want to think of not as dieting, we want to create a lifestyle that we can live with. This is from Dr. Sherry Lieberman. She had 2 PhDs in exercise science and nutrition, and she was the author of one of the healthy lifestyle classes that I was teaching several years ago, but I really love this quote from her. And then I added my own quote here: life, health, relationships, career. It all gets easier with your brain on board. So it's really recognizing that everything that we want to create a balance with our food. We want to create a balance with our life. We don't want to have to keep going back through that revolving door. And one of the easiest ways to do this, to update your unconscious mind, is using neuro linguistic programming and hypnosis. And you're going to experience that tonight. So here's just a quick overview I did from the classes that I taught. Healthy lifestyle. I really noticed my healthy lifestyle people, students, that they knew the right foods to eat and the foods to avoid, but still they struggled to follow through. And as I was teaching the classes, I really recognized that around that window of time, I was also doing NLP and hypnosis training. And I myself had 40 pounds to release. And what I saw is that people continued to struggle even though they knew what to do. So I developed the lighter use system, and I used myself as a guinea pig. I lost 40 pounds over 15 years ago, have kept it off with no dieting, no counting calories, no depriving myself, no exhaustive exercise. That's right, I wasn't even really exercising at the time. No box meals, no kidding. But a lot of ways that we've built up diet and weight loss programs, they are really hard. They're hard to follow through. It's hard to take the time. It's hard to do them. And I want to help people recognize that your mind can help you be healthier, happier, more energized, feel better in your body, feel better in your skin, and to do this more consistently for you if we get your unconscious mind on board. So you can go to system.com. There is at alighterusesystem.com/free. I do have a free e-course that you can go through, more information about how this all works. But mostly I want to illustrate that weight loss doesn't have to be hard or exhaustive or punishing, that we can find our inner balance. As we find our inner balance, we can find our outer balance in the world with ourselves and food and with the experiences of life. And getting activity. It doesn't have to be an hour of punishing exercise at the gym. Activity can be going for a walk, taking your dog to the dog park. Activity can be just walking around the block. It can be parking your car just a little further away. So we want to get the mind and body back into recognizing healthy lifestyle and creating a lifestyle that you can live with. I did it, and you can too. And I'm going to give you some of the keys to do this. So just a quick recap about the program. We are starting the A Lighter You in 90 Days program with a live 6-week class. You can go to this link if you want to join, bit.ly/ALY 6 weeks. And what's included this is the whole A Lighter You 90-day program. So you'll get online access. Of course, you'll be able to attend the live events, the classes, the recordings. Along the way, I found people really did need to know better nutrition information. We need to know how foods are affecting our body. Calories are not all the same. Sugar is not all the same. And there's some things that you can do to make this process of moving forward healthier, more fun. I am definitely a foodie. I love food. I think food should be fun and taste good. And I really want to make that accessible for people. So in class, we're going to go through 6 hypnosis essentials that you need to get your unconscious mind on board with creating that healthy lifestyle. I also have 2 books that are included in this program, Train Your Brain to Slim Your Body and Healthy Eating Made Simple Nutrition Guide, and 90-day motivational emails, plus meeting live support. You're going to stay connected with a group, and follow with a group can really help you stay supported. So you can check it out there. But now we're going to go through the hypnosis part. I want you to experience how hypnosis works so you can recognize how it's getting on your unconscious mind on board. So I think what we'll do here is go ahead and sit back and relax, and let's go ahead and just dive into this hypnosis process. Let yourself be in a space that's quiet and relaxing. And for this process, you likely want to close your eyes. It's often easier for people to visualize when they have their eyes closed. This screenshot here, this picture, is more just helping your mind recognize, what does a healthy lifestyle look like for you? If you were healthier, lighter, at your ideal healthy body weight, what would you do with it? You can see in the background, I've got some feet here on a kayak. A lot of things that you like to do, that you would enjoy doing. I like to think of it as living more fully alive rather than just weight loss. There's a lot of benefits to releasing weight. Obviously, health issues, knees feel better, body feels better. We have more energy, more aliveness. And what will you be doing with that aliveness? So that's what we're going to help your mind explore in this hypnosis process. Hypnosis for your healthy life and body. Folks with the brain trainer. And go ahead and sit back and relax, yourself comfortable, and just settling into the present moment, letting yourself be just right here, right now. And taking in a deep, gentle breath, breathing that breath in, filling up your lungs with that breath, holding that breath, gather out stress, tension, and release the breath as you exhale. Letting go of the cares of the day, letting go of the outside world. And another deep, clearing breath, breathing that breath in, filling up your lungs, holding that breath, gather out stress, tension, and release it as you exhale. Just letting your mind and body system feel more and more relaxed with every breath. And one more deep clearing breath, breathing that breath in and holding that breath. Now noticing all of the places of mind and body that have been holding tension, and release the breath all the way down as you exhale, as you simply let go. Let go of the outside world as you just relax into your inner mind and being. And now noticing that easy, natural flow of breath. As through your nose and into your lungs as the breath radiates out your body. And as you release the breath, feeling more and more relaxed, even more and more relaxed with every breath, feeling more at ease, more comfortable. And as you notice that continued easy flow of breath, and now noticing a healing light, much like the light of the sun, as if it's shining down through, letting it wash through your face, through your head, through your neck, letting it pour into your shoulders, letting it wash down through your shoulders, through your arms, to your elbows, your forearms, all the way to your wrists and your fingertips. And notice that everywhere that healing light flows, you can feel it soaking in to your muscles and tissues. You can feel it soaking into your body. And notice as that lightness continues to wash back, letting it pour through the core of your body as if it's clearing out any of the old stock energy. Let it clear out any of the old I can'ts or I'm nots, letting it wash through your body, through your stomach, your pelvis, into your thighs, through your thighs to your knees, and now through your knees to your shins, to your calves, to your ankles, to the bottoms of your feet. That's right, you can feel clearing it out as if it's washing the old stuck energy all the way down to the bottoms of your feet. And now notice as if there's drains on the bottom of each foot, drains like the drain of a shower. You can feel each one opening up and all of the old heaviness flowing through your body, through your legs, through your feet, through the floor, and down into the ground to be recycled. That your mind and body can just, that's right, you don't have to carry it around anymore. Letting it wash through your body, through your feet, through the floor, into the ground. You feel even more and more relaxed in this moment. Feeling that lightness continue to wash through from the top of your head to the bottoms of your feet. And you can feel that lightness as it continues to soak into your muscles and tissues, even as if it's soaking into your at the core of who you are, the inner brightness that is you. And feeling that brightness begin to expand out around you as if you're glowing with that light, brighter and brighter, brighter and brighter, letting it fill up the space around you until it feels as if you're wrapped in that bubble of light. And you can just relax in that bubble. And now noticing the edges of the bubble, noticing the borders of it. And now you recognize that this bubble belongs to you, that it travels with you wherever you go. And it's always there for you, even as simply as you think of it. And noticing that each person has their own bubble, and they get to choose what they keep in their bubble, and you get to choose what you keep in your bubble. You might even add some images of the positive things you want to create for you within your bubble. Feeling good in your body, feeling more healthy, more energized, having more fun, doing the things that you want to do, being the person you want to be. You can go ahead and fill up that bubble with any sorts of images to remind your mind to move toward the positive things that you want. And now notice that you can expand the bubble out further, and for now feeling it radiate out around you larger and larger. Or you can also draw the bubble in closer and feeling it pull back into your skin. And now becoming very aware of your body, feel the pull of gravity. Heavier and heavier, as if feeling the weight of your body pull to the ground, heavier and heavier. And now reversing gravity, feeling lighter and lighter, lighter, more free. Lighter, lighter, more free, letting yourself drift and float, that easy, wonderful feeling. And now in your mind's eye, you'll see a set of stairs traveling down to the deeper part, of your unconscious mind, your automatic mind. And I'm going to count from 10 down to 1. With each number that I count, allow yourself to take a step down the set of stairs with every step, letting yourself just relax more easily, more comfortably every step. And 10, more and more relaxed. And 9, even more and more at ease. And 8, even relaxing more deeply, more comfortably. And 7, even more deeply, comfortably relaxed. And 6, even more deeply, comfortably relaxed. And 5, even noticing an inner calm begins bubbling up from within you. Let it bubble up all the way to the surface, letting it fill into the space around you as you feel even more deeply relaxed and calm. And 4, even more deeply relaxed. And even noticing is that inner calm continues to deepen into a deeper feeling of okayness, recognizing that in this moment, right here, right now, you are okay. And you can just relax into being you. And 3, and notice as the okayness continues to deepen into a deeper feeling of peace. Let yourself just revel in that peace. As you recognize that in this moment, right here, right now, you are okay. And you are safe. Your body is cared for. And you can just relax into being you. And 2, and 1, all the way to the bottom of the set of stairs. And at the bottom of the stairs, a room opens in front of you. This room represents your inner room of comfort, where you can create whatever you'd like in this place with a wave of your hand. You can change the colors on the walls. With a wave of your hand, you can change the flooring under your feet. And in your mind's eye, go ahead and arrange this room as the most comfortable, the most relaxing. And you can always come back to this inner place of the comfort of your mind to make updates or changes, to create clarity with your inner voice, with your own wants and feelings and desires. So go ahead and take a moment to arrange this room. You might even bring in fine furnishings or artwork, beautiful places to sit or lie down and letting yourself just relax into that wonderful space. And now noticing across the room, there is a sliding glass door. And in your mind's eye, go ahead and walk to the sliding glass door, one step, another step. One step, another step. And opening the door, stepping through into the outside, you see it opens into a beautiful meadow. As you look out across the meadow, you can see the green of the grass. You can see the color of flowers across the meadow. Stepping out onto the meadow, even feeling the ground underneath your feet, feeling the warmth of the sunlight all around you. Feeling the ease of this beautiful place. You see there's a trail heading toward the center of the meadow. And begin walking on that trail, one step, another step. Feeling the ground underneath your feet, one step, another step. Heading out toward the center of the meadow, one step, another step. And now as you come to the center of the meadow, you see there is a roadway stretching in both directions. One direction represents the past. The other direction represents the future. As you look back into the past, you can see there may have been some struggles with the things you want to create for yourself. But you also recognize that our past struggles do not create our future. So as you look back into the past, now we're going to ask your unconscious automatic mind to just dim down the difficult times, dim down the struggle, and now to brighten up the positive, happy times, making them more available, more noticeable. And now notice as you're standing there in the middle of the roadway, looking out into the future ahead of you. Notice that through all of the history of what you've been learning, your mind has been learning, adjusting, coordinating, much like the process of learning to ride a bicycle. At one time, it was difficult. You may have even fallen off a time or two. But even when you fell off the bicycle, your brain was learning more about what works and what doesn't work for you, how to coordinate, how to shift and adjust. And with all of the learning that you've already been doing, with all that you've already learned about what doesn't work for you and what does work for you, you're actually more prepared now to become more and more successful. In fact, you become more and more successful, capable with every try. So you might even take the image of a bicycle, one from childhood or one even more recent, and tuck it into your hand to carry it with you as a reminder that life and everything in it is a process of learning and growing, figuring it out. And now as you look ahead of you into the positive future, you actually see that there's two paths ahead. One path represents if you stubbornly don't make the changes. If you hold on to these old habits, or the procrastination, or the lack of motivation, let's go ahead and take a moment to explore that path, letting your mind take you down that path. If you stubbornly hold on to the old habits that you've already been doing, where does it take you in 6 months? What does it do to your body, to your experience in 1 year? Where are you in 2 years? If you refuse to make any changes, what about 3 years, 5 years, 10 years? Notice how it feels. Notice what your energy is like, your outlook is like, your mindset is like. But you have another choice. From that future self in that negative future, turn around, look back at yourself. Give yourself some advice forward. And now we're going to ask your mind to come all the way back through that window of time, all the way back to present. But there in the roadway, you have another choice. And this second path represents the positive future that you are even now creating. This is as you are changing your habits, creating the lifestyle that you want to live with. And now notice, where does this path take you? As you're focusing on what works and doing more of what's working, as you're making the changes, whether small steps or larger ones, there is a path, there is a process. And now we're going to ask your mind to help you explore where this healthy lifestyle path takes you all the way through today, tomorrow, the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You can see at some point on your timeline that you are the healthy weight you want to be. You are the ideal weight number. Your body feels good. And letting your mind take you to that place, even 5 years into the future. Creating your healthy lifestyle, living with energy, health, and vitality into 7 years into the future, 10 years into the future. From that place, notice how these small changes advance over time, how the small steps add up to the bigger picture of success. Let yourself revel in this experience of your positive, healthy future. Wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be great if you felt good in your body? Wouldn't it be great if you had the health, the energy, the vitality? Wouldn't it be great if you were able to do the things that you love to do? Wouldn't it be great if you were able to walk and move? Wouldn't it be great if you felt good about meeting people, felt good about yourself? Wouldn't it be great to expand the experience of your life with people, activities, connections, relationships? Notice how this affects so many different areas of your life. Let yourself revel in it. Let yourself take it on. Let yourself notice it, think it, feel it, embody it, embrace it. Now, from this positive view, turn around, look back at yourself in the present moment, and give yourself some good advice about moving forward. Give yourself some good advice. Notice whatever comes to mind, thoughts, pictures, images, words, feelings. Recognize this positive future. There is a path. There are steps. There is a process. And your mind can help you guide the way. And now bring that positive future self all the way back through those years, back to that place in the middle of the meadow. And as you do, your unconscious mind is now recognizing there is a choice. There's a choice to continue as you have been, to not make the choice, continue and letting the default carry you, or there is another way. There is another path. You can begin making small and easy steps along the way. You can begin to just notice what works for you so you can do more of what's working. There is the difference, and you see the contrast between the default of where you've been headed or the positive future. Embody and embrace. And you are ready now to make the change. You are ready now to choose better, aren't you? And when you're ready to choose better, in the next minutes or seconds, you'll find a big eraser in one of your pockets, in your mind's eye. And it's time now to erase the default future. This old path that is going to take you further and further down into the things that you don't want. You're ready now to erase it, and you can erase it. Erasing it now, erasing the old default. If you don't make a change, just erase it out. Erasing it out of your mind and body system. Erase it. And when it's clear, now looking into your positive future, seeing it out there ahead of you, it's glowing. It might even feel a lightness to it, a vibrance to it. Recognize there is a path forward. There are steps to create that healthy life and body that you want to embrace and embody, that you want to be. There are steps, choices, and a process, and your mind can help you guide the way. And as you look out into that positive future, feel the inner growing hope as if it's bubbling up from within you. Yes, I can make small and easy changes that add up over time. Yes, I can begin with what's easy and take the steps day by day, step by step. And it could be even as easy as noticing what's your first priority to moving forward. Notice thoughts, pictures, images, words, feelings. And what's your second priority in moving forward? Thoughts, pictures, images, words, feelings. And what's your third priority? So it can be as easy as step 1, step 2, step 3. And when those steps are done, then to reevaluate step 1, step 2, step 3. And every day it can be as easy as step 1, step 2, step 3. Every day is easy as step 1, step 2, step 3. And you are ready for this positive future. And notice how good it feels to look out into the positive future as it's opening up ahead of you. You might even see yourself or your friends and your family having the fun together, the energy, the health, the vitality, doing the things that you want to do, being the person you know you can be. And you can embrace it and embody it for you. And it begins within your mind, and then it comes into reality. So go ahead and take an image, a copy of that positive future, and just tuck it into your body to carry it with you as a constant reminder of what you're moving toward, what you are creating, and how you want to be prioritizing. Step 1, step 2, step 3. That every day can be as simple as step 1, step 2, step 3, and letting that image of your positive future radiate throughout your mind, body, spirit system, carrying it with you as that constant reminder. You can do this a day at a time, a step at a time. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Very good. And now it's time to be heading back now. Heading back, but carrying with you the wisdom, the insight, carrying with you the recognition that there is a path to move forward. There are steps along the way. There are actions to take, but it can be as easy as step 1, step 2, step 3. And there are resources to help. There are ways to be supported, to address the habits, the challenges of the past, that you can be moving forward easier and easier. And it's time to head back now, heading back across the meadow. One step, another step, bringing back with you that growing inner hope. Yes, there is a path, there are steps, step 1, step 2, step 3, and you can prioritize day by day, step by step, what works for you. As you notice what works, you can do more of what's working. Heading back along the path, heading back across the meadow, all the way back, and back to that sliding glass door. And opening that sliding glass door back into the inner room of comfort, where you can create whatever you'd like. You might post some pictures in that room of the positive future that you want to embrace and embody. More time, family, friends, doing more of the things that you love, having more energy, health, vitality, feeling happier, feeling better in your mind, feeling better in your body, feeling better about you, about life, really embracing, living fully, living alive. And heading back across the inner room of comfort, back to the set of stairs, and I'm going to count from 1 back to 10, with each number bringing the positive focuses back to you. Every step, taking a step back up the set of stairs. Step 1, there is a path in moving forward. And 2, and there are steps that you can take every day. Easy, small steps, and maybe larger ones along the way. But notice it begins with some of the smallest steps. And 3, so that every day can be as easy as step 1, step 2, step 3. Every day can be as easy, step 1, step 2, step 3. And you can always reevaluate when those are done. What's the next steps? What's the next steps? Think of it as a journey. And as you're feeling better and better on that journey, doesn't it feel good to take those steps? 4, that you can relax into letting your mind help your body in moving forward, feeling better and better with the clarity of mind. And 5, the growing inner hope that yes, there is a path and there are steps, there are actions you can take. And 4 and 5, heading back toward your everyday awareness. And 6, wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be great if your mind and body, if you were taking the steps for your mind and body to work together? Wouldn't it be great to be embracing, embodying that positive future? And in all the ways that you experience it, that you imagine it, that you feel it. And 7, heading back up the set of stairs. And 8, back to the room where you were sitting. And 9, and all the way back into your body. And 10, all the way back, feeling rested and renewed. All the way back now. Feeling good in the present moment, feeling renewed and refreshed. Even a renewed sense of self. As you recognize the growing inner hope, you can do, have, be what you set your mind to. And all the way back into your body. All right, coming all the way back to everyday awareness, back into your body, hopefully feeling renewed and refreshed. And let's just go ahead if you want to chime in or share what you noticed along the way, or if you have any questions